this video, we will search, sort, and paginate using .NET Core and MySQL. Before we start building the app, I would like to remind you that this video can be combined with other videos. So if you want to use C# with any of these front-end frameworks or C# with MySQL or MongoDB, I provided some links in the description of this video. You can watch this video also without combining with other videos. That is totally fine. Now let's start building the app. Make sure to have installed .NET CLI. So .NET new web API. So this will create the project in our directory here. And I will open it with my IDE. So I'm using Rider as my IDE, but you can use Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio, it doesn't matter. So what I will do right now is I will remove this weather forecast controller and weather forecast. I remove them. Now in the startup, I will remove also Swagger. I will remove also this part. And so everything is correct. Also, I will change the port which we will run our app. So the port will be HTTP localhost 8000. So this is our port. We can try now .NET run, and it's running on port 8000. So everything is correct. Let's add also CORS to our app, since we can combine this app with front-end apps. First, what is CORS? So CORS is that our front-end will run on a different port than our backend, and our front-end will send requests to the backend to get data, but if they have different port, our browser will prevent that. So to prevent that, we have to use CORS. So in the services here, we'll add CORS. Also, we need to add the ports here. I will paste them. So we will use CORS, and the options, we want these origins. So this origin is for React, this is for Vue, this is for Angular. Allow any header, any method, and we don't need credentials. So this is CORS now. Now let's add the models and the controllers for our app. So first let's add the model, which is models here. Our model will be product. Let's add the fields that we need for the product. So public int ID. We'll add a get and a set. We need a title, so string title. Description. Image, and a float of price. So this is our product. We need to add also the controller, so we'll create here a product controller. This product controller, we need to extend it from controller, and we need to say that this is an API controller, and also I will specify the prefix for the route. So route prefix will be API. So that's it. Now what is left is to connect with the database so we can map this product to the database. So let's connect. We will use MySQL in this example. So let's install first the entity framework. So we need the entity framework core. I will use the stable version. I will copy this and I'll stop this and add the entity framework here. With the entity framework, we need also the design. So here I will also install a stable version. Also, we need MySQL. So I will use this Pomelo Entity Framework Core MySQL. So I will install this too. So we installed what we need. Now let's connect with our data source MySQL. Our user is root, password is root, and the database is .NET search. If I test the connection now, it will be successful, and this will be an empty database. So we need to add the product table in this database. And with that, we have to use our first. I will create here a folder, data, and inside I will create a class product context. Before adding anything here, we need also to add in our app settings the connection string for MySQL. So connection strings default, and this will be, I will paste it. So our server is localhost, port is 3306, user root, password root, and database is .NET search. So we added here the connection. Now in the product context, we have to extend the product context with DB context from entity framework core. We'll add the constructor here, public product context DB context options here for the product context. We'll have options which they will extend from the base options. So this is the constructor for the DB context, and we'll pass the options there too. We need to add a public DB set here for the product. So this, let's import it here, products, a set and a get here. So this will be the result set for when we query the database, and that's it. So this is what we need, and now in the startup we need to connect with the database. So after course here, we'll add services, add DB context, our product context here, and to connect with MySQL, we need to create two variables. One is a connection string, so connection string, which will be equal to configuration get connection string default. So we got that. We need also the version. So version is equal to new MySQL server version. Inside we need to put the version of MySQL, which is a new version 8.0.21. So we got these variables, and now when we connect with the database we have to pass the options here, and the options will call use MySQL, and the first value is the connection string and the second one is a version, and that's it. So these annotations are so connection string, version, and with this we connect with MySQL. So now if I start again the server .NET run and is everything successful, it means that we successfully connected with MySQL. So this means that we successfully connected. Now let's add the table for the product, and to do that make sure you have the .NET Entity Framework toolset installed, and now we need to create migrations, and to do it we have to call .NET Entity Framework migrations add create products table, and we will create a new folder here, so it will be migrations. So why doesn't refresh? Should I refresh? So we have folder migrations, but now I see it, and this is our create products table. So we will create a table, and the name will be products, and these are all the columns, and what is left is to just migrate this table, but I won't do it. Actually I will do it. So if we want to remove the migrations we have to use this. So .NET Entity Framework migrations remove. Why did I remove this migration that I just created? Because let's go to the product context. I want to create a table, but I also want to populate the products with some fake data. So I will add here on model creating, and I want to populate this with some fake data. Before I make any changes we need another package. I will call this is bogus. So this is a package that will help us add some fake data. So I will copy this and I will add it here. So I added an extra here. So we installed bogus, and now I'll do a for loop. For I is equal to, I'll start from 1, and I is less than equal to 50. So we will create 50 products, and we will call here model builder entity for the product, has data, and inside we'll add a new product. And this product we need to set all the values, also the ID. So the ID will be equal to I. Title will be equal to new bogus dataset. Datasets, not dataset. Datasets lorem word, or it should be like this. So we added the title. Let's add the description. And this will be a paragraph. Let's add the image. The image will be new, bogus. Datasets. Images. Lorem pixel URL. So we added also the image, and the last one is price is equal to new bogus randomizer number. So it should be like this. Number between 10 and 100. So with this, we will add also fake data. So let's run now again the command to add the products table. And not sure why the folder is removed again. Now we have the migrations folder, and when we create this table now, we will have this insert data, and these are all values that we just inserted right now. So when we create now the table, we will also have the data. So let's update the database. So .NET Entity Framework database update. So everything is updated, and if I refresh this, go to the products, we can see we have products, and we have, this is a table, also 50 products, all with different price, images, titles, and descriptions. So everything is ready now. We can go to our controllers and add our first method here. Our first method will be adding all the products, so public iActionResult. Frontend I will call method, and this will be an HTTP GET request to products/frontend. Now we need to return all the products, but to return them, we have to create first also a product repository. So product repository. Here we need our product context. So private read-only product context. We need to initialize it. So do we have a function for it? We don't, so I will add here public product repository. We need to pass a product context here, and we'll set that this context is equal to the context. So we set the context. Now we need our first method, which is to get all the products. So db set product, all of them, and we will return just the context products like this. So this is the product repository now, and I will add it also in the startup. So services, add transient, and this will be the product repository. We added it here. Now what is left is to add it in our product controller. So we need to add here public product controller, and inside we'll pass the product repository, and we need the product repository here. So private read-only product repository, and we will set that this repository is equal to this one. And in the end here, we'll return OK. So this means that the request is successfully repository all, and we are finished. Now to test this endpoint, first let's run .NET run. And we need to install Postman, so make sure to install Postman in order to test that endpoint, and we will send a GET request to HTTP localhost port 8000 /API/products/frontend. Send the request, and as we can see, we are getting all the products here, all 50 of them. So this works fine. Now we need to add another endpoint, which is the backend one. So I'll copy this, paste it here, and this is backend, and the method is backend. So this is correct till now. We need to add another method here. So I will add an object, in this case query. I will call a function. For the moment I won't pass any parameters, and we'll get a query which is equal to, we'll use link, so from products in context products, we will select products, and we will return the query. So probably we need to use the system.link here, and we have this query right now. So this won't change anything, so this will be the same as the one that we get all the products. So I'll call query here, and if I save this and I start it again, if we call a backend, we will get the same results. But now we will add some functionality to this request. So we will add a search. So we will search with something. So we can add the value here. And to add this search functionality, first I will add here a query param. So to add a query param, we need to add here from query. Name will be just s, and this will be a string s. So this is the search parameter that we will add in the front end. So we will pass this search to the query. So I will add here a string s, and we will modify this query based on that string. So first I will add a condition here. If string is null or empty s, so we have to check if it is null or empty first before we add the condition. So query now will be equal to query where, and we want to get the products where the title or the description contain this search string. So let's do it first for the title. For each product, we will add product title contains the search value, like this. So if we do it like this, I'll search with the title Dolores, send. I have to restart .NET here. So it is restarted, and as we can see, we are getting only one item. So we are filtering it correctly. So if we search only with D, we get these items. Now let's search also for the description, which is really easy, because we have to add an OR condition here for the description to be the same. So let's restart it, and we are getting these items, but now we will get even more, because we will search also for the description. So if we search about this word, we will get only this product. So this word is not in the title, but it is in the description. So the search works fine. Now let's add the sort. So we want to sort the products by the price in ascending or descending order. I'll add a comma here. I'll duplicate this, and this will be the sort. And I'll pass the sort as a property here, sort. Let's go to the query, and we have a string sort as well here. So this will be really simple. If the sort is equal to ascending, query is equal to query order by product.price, and that's it. Else, if sort is equal to descending, we will do the same, but we will call order by descending here, and that's it. And our products will be ordered. So if I remove the search here, and I will send the sort ascending, I have to restart it. Send, and the first item has a price of 12, 13, 15, 18, etc. So they are sorted in ascending order. If I send it descending, 98, 97, 96, etc. So the products are sorted. Also, if we put a search and the sort, we will also search products and also sort them. So both of these will work the same. Now the last part is to add the pagination. So we will add another query here. So I'll duplicate this, and this will be the page. I'll remove this page, and the page will be an integer. Let's pass also the page, and this will be an int page here. So we have to paginate the products. To paginate them, we have to create first an int. I'll call it per page. This is equal to 9. So this per page value, we want to first limit the query with this value. So I will return here a new object here, and I will call the data, which is equal to query dot take per page. So this, we will get only 9 items per page with this. We need also to add a skip. So the skip will be page -1 times per page. So this is the pagination basically. So we will take only 9 items, and this skip is where we start. The page by default should be 1, so I will add it by default here. So this is optional, so we'll have a problem here. I'll create this is query page. I'll call this a variable, and our page will be equal to query page get value or default 1. But sometimes this gets 0 value, so we have to avoid also the 0 value. So if this is equal to 0, then we return 1, otherwise this value. So with this we are sure that if we don't set the value, we will get the page equals to 1. So with this, let's restart, and if we send the request now, we'll get data and we'll get our first 9 items. So we didn't set the page here, and by default is set to 1. And we need also some other extra information, which is the total of the products. So we will get the total here is equal to query count, and we have to return it here. So when we return the result, we'll return the total, the page, and also the last page, which is important, and this will be a total divided by per page. This should be an integer, but since the total and the per page are both integers, the division will be also an integer, so we don't have to do anything else. So if we see this on Postman, we'll get the data here, but we will get also the total, page, and the last page, and we can add the page 2 here, so we can move to the next page, and we have an error. This error is probably the order of skip and take. So first we have to skip, then we will take. So the order matters in this case. So now we get products from ID 10 to 18. So the next 9 products. So the page is equal to 2. We have also the last page, and also we can combine all of them. So if we do it like this, the total of item is 27, page 2, last page is 3. They are also ordered in descending order. So this is how we search, sort, and paginate using .NET Core. I hope you liked this tutorial, and if you did, also make sure to share and subscribe. Thank you.